Hello, everybody. This is DIY Alpha Hound, I think. God damn it, I keep forgetting my name. I'm gonna have to change it to something else. But, today, sadly, I lost the footage, but today we are making, what's her name? Star Butterfly's, headband. I already went ahead. If you don't have a regular headband like I did to paint, um, find one of those decorative ones and just paper mache the piece and then paint it the color you want. Um, for Star Butterfly, of course, it's gonna be pretty interesting. So I have some oven baked clay here. We're working on the horns now because, yeah. So I basically am gonna split this in half as best I can. And you just want to knead it. Each piece, you want to knead it nice and because that's not working. So basically, what you want to do is make some devil horns. Just small devil horns. She has like stubby ones that are interesting, and I convinced my mom to help me dress up like her for Halloween because I was gonna do Sally face. I really wanted to do Sally face. I was super excited for that one. And it just did not work because it's just, certain things, it just doesn't always work out that way because I can't get my mom to buy me Vaseline, but for some reason she'll help me dress up like a, how did she put it, magical princess from another dimension. But she won't help me dress up like freaking an easier character. My mom's messed up, man. So basically, you want to get the basic shapes of the horns. It's not easy to mold clay. It's not easy to play with Play-Doh either. Like, sculpting stuff, unless you have the experience, is actually kind of hard. Because, it takes time. I really should have worn gloves for this. For some reason the oven based stuff likes to stain hands. So my hands are pink now. If you can't really see that. They're starting to get there anyway. So I'm just kneading it because I want to get it nice and soft and easier to mold. I was trying to make the horner too early and it just doesn't work that way. You have to take your time with it. But anyway, I figured since Halloween is almost here, we have about, we're almost to the end of September, and I figured I'd get ahead of everybody. I know it's kind of stupid, but I just figured I'd get ahead of everyone. Um, so basically, what you want to do is roll it into a oval esque shape. You want to start with a ball and then just slowly work with it. Just don't mess with clay if you have long nails like I do, because clay will get in your nails and it's just such a hassle to clean it out. Just like painting. Any craft that you have, whatever you're doing, typically if it's with your hands, you will probably get it in your nails if you have long nails like I do. Oh, great. My cat has decided to brace me with his presence. He's like right out of the camera range. But he's here. He's sniffing at the Play Doh in the bag. Well, not Play Doh. I was trying to make Play Doh earlier. It didn't work. But he was sniffing at this. It has the red. Well, the orange one in it. It had the red in it too, but. So this is my basic shape that I got going here. Now the thing is getting it to first off smooth out. Second off, to go ahead and flatten the bottom so that you can try and see. You have to try and position it like where you want it on the headband, and hers are pretty close together, so I'm going to use that to help me. Since they're stubby, I mean, it's not too bad. I should probably mold it down farther like that. I do not like how this is sitting, sadly. But you always need your reference when you're doing this. My mom and my family always say it's good to reference stuff. If I know generally what it looks like, I'm not gonna reference it. Because, you could always make your own unique spin on things. I typically remember things easily, because I'm very I remember small details sometimes, and it's like really weird. I don't know why I do it, but I do. Certain things I can memorize like that. Like, what is it? The comic Homestuck. Let's get onto that, shall we? I memorized all the characters, like pretty much every character. I can't remember how to solve a math problem. I'm surprised I even graduated high school. But the other day, let's just keep getting off topic, shall we? The other day, I went ahead and I went down to Little Caesars, and believe it or not, the manager, my mom said, quote unquote, he's kissing my ass. And I was just like, no, he seems really nice. I don't think he would do that. Like, I understand that they're nice in general sometimes to the other people. But, they give me that. I'm going to tear this apart down here. In general, they're supposed to be nice because they want you to work for them, so they be nice in the beginning, and then eventually they will crack down on you or whatever. That's what she says. So that's all her. All right, so I'm gonna try and do this again. I'm gonna try and salvage my little piece here because I had to tear a piece or so off of it to make the horn. Right. So. Basically, just take your time, try to make them as even as possible, and you'll get it eventually. Just, don't fret if it doesn't look right at first. Okay, if you have like fingerprints in it, don't worry about it. Because in order to get this red, you need to go ahead and paint the horns so that they will match, if that makes sense. See, I'm trying to get it to the shape of like in the cartoon because it's like really tiny at the top and then it's curved a ton at the bottom. And the tips are like perfectly adorable. Like they aren't like. I should put a like counter on this, but I won't. They're dull at the top, which is weird because they look pointy, but when you get close up in the show, it shows you that she actually has stubs. Like that. This is your general shape for star butterfly. Just remember, take your time. And, um, I want to make sure they're even. So, for the most part, I have to be careful. Um, nothing is perfect, ever. Even if it looks perfect, it's not, okay? There's always something wrong. It usually takes me forever to, like, be happy and content with what I'm doing because, that's just how I am. My friend, who was a perfectionist with every little piece of artwork she did, and I started telling her that nothing is perfect, and she'd look at me and goes, "Yes, yes, it is. It will always be perfect." No. Yeah. Sometimes you can't get it right the first time, or ever. It just you have sometimes you just have to deal with how your outcome is for your crafts, and you know what? It's okay because in the long run, if you feel like it, you can always come back. My thing about making everything I do is eventually I will appreciate it and I will learn to love it. Okay, so that is the same right there. Yeah. For the most part, I have the same basic shape that I had for the other one. It's not that hard, just takes time. See, what I'm doing here is I'm pressing it down in the headband so that, God, I know foam is like the most awful sound, but so I can go ahead and first off finish shaping it to the proper shape without, you know, having to keep holding it and trying to guess myself. But you just want to take your time, and this way, when you glue your stuff on, uh, you can go ahead and it'll be nice and cozy. Like it'll have like, because this is from the divot in the headband, as you can see. The thing about working with some oven baked clay, um, for the most part, most of the instructions will tell you to work on a protected surface, and I do have protection. I have the wrappers that they came in, and I do not know how long to put this in for, but that's okay. I don't have the instructions to it, but I can work with it. Let's see. This isn't even open. I don't understand why it's in here. Knead clay for 2 minutes. Da 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 da. Bake on oven-proof glass or metal. Don't have to bake it on metal. 15 minutes per thickness. I'm just gonna wing it because that's how that works. But once you go ahead and you've got your basic shape, you want to prep, like my mom used tin foil. So prep your tin foil with, if you were using something else, I'd typically, see look, typically I would go ahead and, prep it with like greasing spray. But for some reason, mom says that the oven baked clay that she uses doesn't stick to anything. Clay all in my nails. See, I don't lie about this stuff. It's awful. This is why I don't work with clay. I don't typically work with clay. My last project that I did that dyed my hands was like my first year here. I've been here for 3 years now. Um, it was homemade Play-Doh, and I turned it green even though I was gonna paint it. So what's the matter, you know? And just it was hilarious because I dyed it green. My mom came home in the middle of her work to take a break to not check on me, but to just come home and relax for an hour. And I found it hilarious because she was yelling at me, like, why is it mint green? Because I wanted to dye it mint green for fun. But that's a waste of food coloring. No, it's not, because when you take your headband off, because I used one of the, basically a headband like what this was, it has like holes in it and a design in it. And I told her, I said, no, it's not, because when you take off your headband, you can still see it because it's freaking hot glue is clear when it dries. It'll be a dull color, but I'll still be able to see it, and I thought that would look awesome. I'm messed up, okay? My mom, she tells me that I'm weird, and I look at her and I go, "You're the weirdest one I know. You and Grandma, you're very weird." And you know what? She's okay with that because she knows she's weird. And she says that I get her weirdness. So, anyway, back to topic, because I do this again. You want to let it sit for a few minutes, let it harden again a little, because clay does dry up over time. You want to make it harder just a tiny bit, so that way when you bake it, it'll basically hold its general shape. I worked in ceramics, but I never worked with oven baked clay. I mean, I guess you could kind of call it oven baked clay, but we used the kiln, and I wasn't allowed to use the kiln, but like the teacher would have us put everything in on a shelf, and yeah, pretty much she'd have us put it on the shelf, and overnight she'd bake it because she did that for all her classes. But we weren't allowed to use the kiln. She wouldn't show us. So maybe one of these days I'll go work in an art shop and learn how that works. So I don't feel like anyone watches my videos. And I've been checking. There's no views except for one view every blue moon, literally. Does anyone care? Just out of curiosity? Because I work hard on my videos. Not like I don't. I try to make good content. I made star butterfly horns for Pete's sake, and now they don't. When I hold them like this, they do not look even. Yeah, one's slightly bigger than the other. But I'm the only one who can pretty much tell. So, if you watch my videos, if you're new to the channel, I would appreciate a subscription because I really need the subscribers. I'm new to it, so it's not. I know I'm not a hotshot video gamer or anything, or I'm not like a very good DIY person because I have a phone, first off, to work with. If I could, I totally would go ahead and buy a camera, but until I get my job, which I am trying for at Little Caesars, he said I'm next to hire. I'm just waiting on his phone call. I can't buy a camera, and you know what? That's okay. Eventually, I do plan, like, it's gonna be a while before I buy the camera, but when I go ahead and get my first paycheck, it's gonna go toward my puppy and getting her groomed properly and like dropping her off at like Petco or something and getting her groomed. But eventually I will get to the point where I can get a camera so that I can film properly. I'm not very good with electronics by myself, so I'm gonna have to ask people for help, of course. But you know what? That'll be in time. Um, I'm not the best artist. I can give you that. I can make something from nothing, but unless I have some sort of supply to go off of, it's very hard for me to film. One, because I need my hands to pretty much position the camera and everything, and I don't have the proper equipment. Almost. I don't have the proper equipment to go ahead and do like what Threadbanger does. I can't do that. But eventually I'll get there. And, you know, it'll be nice to get there. But I can. A lot of YouTubers, unlike me, I'm single, they usually have boyfriends or girlfriends or whatever to help them film. I do not. Markiplier has friends. I have friends, but they don't come over often. So I'm pretty much on my own for the majority. When I started this channel originally, my friend Tia was supposed to help me. And it backfired. So, in all seriousness, I've been on my own from the start because Tia was never around enough for me to do anything. So, it's just ridiculous. Anyway, I think they're ready to be baked. So, take and follow your instructions. It's very hard to see, but follow the instructions on the packaging. And, bake accordingly. After that, glue them on. Paint them if you need to or not. I could leave them like this, but my headband is darker than this, so I need to paint it a little darker. And you're pretty much done. Alright, enjoy your star butterfly headband. If you liked the video, hit the like button. I don't know. Maybe I'll get lucky. Thanks for coming.